Meine sehr geehrten Damen und Herren, ich darf Sie zu unserer Feierstunde ganz, ganz herzlich begrüßen. Es ist mir eine große Freude, dass wir an eine große Europäerin, an eine, die auch die Nöte und Notwendigkeiten von kleineren und Mittelstaaten in der Europäischen Union sehr genau kennt, dass wir heute zusammen können, um ihr eine der höchsten Auszeichnungen Österreichs überreichen dürfen. Liebe Frau Präsidentin des Europäischen Parlaments, sehr herzlich willkommen hier im österreichischen Parlament. Ich darf ganz herzlich unseren Präsidenten des Bundesrates herzlich bei uns begrüßen, Franz Ebner, den Finanzminister, noch Finanzminister, bald den Kommissar der Europäischen Union, die Botschafterin der Europäischen Union bei uns. Herzlichen Dank für Ihr und euer Kommen. Ich freue mich, dass die Vertreter unserer Parteien zu uns gefunden haben im Nationalrat und auch des Europäischen Parlaments und auch Repräsentanten des Bundesrats. Herzlich willkommen zu dieser Feierstunde. Das ist ein Ausdruck dessen, und wir haben das auch im Besucherzentrum sehr deutlich gemacht: Demokratie braucht Möglichkeiten, wo sich Mitglieder versammeln. Die Orte sind unsere Parlamente. Ob das nun der Landtag ist, ob das der Bundesrat ist, der Nationalrat oder das Europäische Parlament, das Zusammenkommen, das gemeinsame Beschließen von Gesetzen und auch der Kontrolle der Regierenden ist unsere Aufgabe, dem wir uns auch in besonderer Art und Weise stellen. Herzlich willkommen, unsere Abgeordneten. Ich darf die Mitarbeiter unseres Hauses an der Spitze, den Parlamentsdirektor Dr. Dossi, herzlich bei uns willkommen heißen. Noch zum Schluss unsere Musik, die unsere Feierstunde umrahmen. Das ist in Österreich eine gute Tradition, dass wir unsere Feiern auch mit dem, was Österreich vielfach in der Welt auszeichnet, auch hier uns begleiten lassen, nicht umrahmen. Es ist ein ganz wesentlicher Teil. Kunst ist auch in diesem Haus. Sie sehen es an den Bildern hier, Sie sehen es an dem, wie wir unser Leben hier gestalten, und Sie sehen es auch an der Musik, die wir verwenden. Oftmals ist es bei Feierlichkeiten Musik gerade jener Menschen, die in den Jahren 33 bis 38 und dann 38 bis 45 das Land verlassen mussten und deren Werke oftmals nicht in dieser Form Beachtung gefunden haben, die als verfemte Kunst, als entartete Kunst gegolten haben, die wir heute wieder durch die Kooperation mit der Musikuniversität, aber auch mit der Akademie der Bildenden Künste zurückholen. Es ist uns die Kunst immer ein großes Anliegen gewesen. Daher herzlich willkommen die Musikerinnen und die Musiker. Herzlich willkommen. Dankeschön. Dear President of the European Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, especially members of the Cabinet of the President. I forgot you at the beginning. I'm deeply honored to present the Grand Decoration of Honor in gold with Sash for services to the Republic of Austria to a woman who has achieved remarkable success at national, European, and global level. In particular, as the President of the European Parliament, promotes European integration and policies with her outstanding competence and engaging personality. The decoration we are awarding today represents one of the highest honors bestowed by the Republic of Austria. It symbolizes our gratitude and our recognition for your outstanding achievements at the national and international level. You, Madam President, have demonstrated exceptional political wisdom, helping to shape our future through your constant engagement with key European policy matters and initiatives. Madam President, throughout your political career, you have consistently demonstrated remarkable dedication. You managed to combine a vision for the big challenges without losing focus for the importance of preserving Europe's diversity and also ensuring the representation of smaller member states such as Austria. We would like to express our gratitude for your close ties with us Amongst the many valuable meetings and exchanges that we shared, I would like to highlight in particular your visit to the Austrian National Council last year in May, when you spoke in front of the plenary and underlined the importance of European cooperation in a very strong and powerful statement. The occasion was a solemn and symbolic one, which demonstrated the significance Austria and its role in the European Union hold for you. It was only the third time in history that a high-ranked international politician made such a statement in the National Council, a historic moment previously shared only by the former UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon in 2016 and the President of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe, Liliane Maury-Pasquier, in 2019. In your speech, you emphasized that the challenges we currently face, such as migration, security, and economic crisis, can only be overcome through collective action. You rightly highlighted that these global problems are best addressed not only by Europe alone, but through a strong transatlantic bond. This clear and decisive message has provided encouragement to many people, demonstrating that the European Union is capable to providing a response to the crisis of our time when we work together. During time as President of the European Parliament, you have consistently demonstrated your ability to reconcile national interests with a European perspective. You were and are not only a reliable partner to Austria, but also an effective mediator between the various positions within the European Union. You have established yourself as an accessible and highly respected President of the European Parliament for colleagues across the political spectrum. This has been due not only to your uncontested competence, but also due to your empathy and willingness to listen. Furthermore, your clear focus on content matter and your dedication to emphasize common ground over differences are immense value. You have a precious talent for bringing people together, uniting opinions and finding solutions that benefits us all. Beyond that, you ensure that the work of the European Parliament is visible beyond Brussels. The opening of the Experience Europe exhibition centers in various European cities, such as here in Vienna, is evidence of your commitment to making the European Parliament more accessible to citizens. These centers bring European politics closer to people and promote understanding of the importance of the European Parliament in people's everyday life. And you have also demonstrated your ability and preparedness to make internal reforms in your institution when needed. The revised conduct rules of members of the European Parliament in the areas of integrity and transparency demonstrate your willingness to enhance the credibility and integrity of European institutions. These measures represent a key step in maintaining confidence in European democracy. We live in challenging times for our democracies, and particular parliaments are key during these times as strong and proactive players. The global democratic process faces increasing pressure, which is eroding confidence in democratic institutions, political parties, and the electoral process. Such pressures are further fueled by sustained covert attacks coordinated by vicious states and non-state actors. At the same time, we witness an increase in extremism, anti-Semitism, hate speech, and disinformation. These developments not only endanger the democratic system, but also pose a threat to our entire society. It is therefore imperative that we meet these challenges at all levels. You, Madam President, are always highly committed to strengthening democratic institutions and promoting open and transparent political debate. As Vice President, and President of the European Parliament, you have devoted your time and energy to these issues. Particularly noteworthy in this context is your support for the We Remember campaign, which serves to commemorate the victims of the Holocaust and to take a clear stance against anti-Semitism. In line with this initiative, the facade of the Austrian Parliament was illuminated with a light art installation over several days in January. Promoting our European values, encouraging integration, and combating hatred and prejudice are fundamental tenets of your political work. In addition to your political commitment to democracy and human rights, you also see the need for the economic strengths of Europe. In your vision of a successful European integration, economic prosperity is not only objective, you also aim to ensure that as many people as possible participate in this prosperity. Another key issue that you consistently pursue is gender equality. You are passionate about ensuring that women have the same opportunities as men in all areas of society, in politics, the economy, and everyday life. You are committed to eliminate gender inequalities. Madam President, you combine an impressive political position with a winning and approachable personality. I was able to get to know you as a down-to-earth politician during our numerous meetings. This attitude has resonated with many people. It would be difficult to forget your fondness for sampling the local cuisine during your visits to Vienna, even including a visit to one of our beloved Würstelstände. This small but significant gesture demonstrates your willingness to connect you with the citizens and beyond. If I may say so, even your personal life seems to be characterized by the European ideal. Give me your Finnish husband and children who are studying abroad. Madam President, your tireless dedication, your ability to build bridges, and your profound humanity make you a truly outstanding politician. Europe needs individuals like you who fight for the future of our continent with passion and reason. On behalf of the Republic of Austria and all those present, I would like to express my sincerest gratitude and admiration. Therefore, I am delighted to have this special honor of presenting you, dear Roberta, the Grand Declaration of Honor in Gold with Sash for services to the Republic of Austria.
Sehr geehrter Nationalratspräsident Sobotka, dear friends, fellow Europeans, ladies and gentlemen, it is such an honor to be here with you today and accept this award today on behalf of the European Parliament. Vielen Dank. And I take this opportunity, dear Wolfgang, to congratulate you on your 40 years in politics. You are a political giant who has helped to steer Austria through 4 tumultuous decades to become a key member of our union. That is a true achievement. You have done it all, and you have done it all your way. I am proud to call you a friend, a mentor, and a colleague. Thank you for all you have done for Austria, for Europe, and for parliamentarism. We have just come from a visit to the exhibition Talking Tacheles, which, dear President Sobotka, brought home your tireless work in combating anti-Semitism. Thank you for standing up for tolerance and acceptance and proving once again that hate has no place in our Europe. The exhibits remind us of the duty we all have to remember our past and to carry those lessons with us into the future, speaking up in defense of our common values and fighting prejudice wherever we find it. That is a pillar of the work of the European Parliament, and that is one we must build on. So it is both a privilege and a responsibility to receive this award on behalf of the European Parliament for strengthening European democracy and putting Europe at the service of Austria. I am honored personally and institutionally beyond words. The European Parliament will use this as inspiration to keep pushing our message and to keep strengthening relations with national parliaments, something that is close to the heart of both President Sobotka and myself. That is what, after all, our European Union is all about. In our Europe, every nation, every region, every person has an important role to play. Because Europe is as much Salzburg or Vienna as it is Brussels or Strasbourg. That is a message that parliaments must keep reinforcing every day. We saw this unity spring into action during the terrible floods that raged across Austria and many other countries. And in the face of such devastation, communities and countries came together to help those in need. Europe once again stood up in solidarity. I would like to use this momentous occasion to pay tribute to the emergency responders and the volunteers who stepped up to help others during this disaster. And my sympathies to the victims and all those who are still suffering. When Austria needed to look to the European Union, it found a partner and it found a friend. And I am proud that our union is and will always be a family of equal members, built on the shared values of solidarity, on peace and freedom. Meine Damen und Herren, looking out at this beautiful and historic space, I am reminded of Austria's motto. The future is in our hands, Austria is in our hearts. And it is clear that Austria also has Europe at its heart. Your 2018 presidency of the Council championed a Europe that protects, a Europe where tradition is respected, but that always looks to the future. And it understood the importance needed for stability in our neighborhood, a stability that has been shattered by Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine. We are grateful for Austria's support, for Europe's clear and unequivocal response, and for your country's action for Ukraine itself. Together, we must keep standing with Ukraine, because this is as much about Ukraine as it is about Europe. That is the foundation that we must now build upon to achieve a stronger, safer, and more secure Europe. Dear friends, allow me to say also how proud I am of the work of my Austrian colleagues in the European Parliament, some of whom are here today. They work hard every day to make this ambition that I've just outlined a reality. They have led on critical legislation on files over the past years since I remember, and I know that they will continue to do so. And our union makes all of this possible. Now, against this background, it bears repeating that at the same time, we also need to be honest about where, as a Europe, we could have done and we could still do better. where we could have listened more and listened harder, where the frustration of our processes have pushed people away, where we have gone sometimes too far, too fast, or not far enough, where bureaucracy has stifled or been overwhelming. People are worried. The world around us seems more dangerous than ever before. People are concerned about paying bills at the end of the month, about affording a home, about finding a job. And our role is to reinforce the constructive forces of Europe that are prepared to work together to offer real solutions. And it will not be easy. Across our continent, extremists sell false narratives and offer false, simple solutions to impossible questions. They seek to destroy and disrupt. We seek the opposite, because we are a Europe of builders, of innovators, of forward thinkers. We seek a sustainable return to growth, making our industries more competitive while leaving no one behind. Only Europe can offer sustainable free markets coupled with the social safety nets that bring people back from the political fringes and foster entrepreneurship. And the answer is not by closing ourselves off. It is by working together to make our single market bigger, better, and more integrated. That is the political way that we must keep building. Now, we know that Europe is not perfect. I said this also before the Austrian Parliament. It is, after all, a work in progress every day. But I believe it is the one shared space in which we must build this future. Because only by working in the constructive center can we ensure that our democracy works for everyone, providing prosperity and freedom, enshrining dignity and rights, guaranteeing security and peace. This is our political generation's challenge. We must work together, embodying Europe's values of unity, cooperation, and compromise to make people and their life a little bit safer, fairer, and more prosperous. It is indeed a great challenge, but I have confidence that together we can fulfill the promise of Europe for the people of Europe. So thank you very much for the award today that I see as a vote of trust in that belief and in our shared project. Vielen Dank für diesen großzügigen Vertrauensbeweis an Europa. Danke. Thank you.
Thank you. Ja, Hast du was? Siehst du was?
schönen guten Nachmittag. Ich darf Sie herzlich begrüßen zur Pressekonferenz mit der Frau Präsidentin des Europäischen Parlaments, Roberta Metsola, und den Herrn Nationalratspräsidenten Wolfgang Sobotka. Ich darf Sie bitten.
Meine sehr geehrten Damen und Herren, sehr geehrte Frau Präsidentin, der Anlass, warum wir uns heute der Öffentlichkeit stellen, ist ein sehr, sehr erfreulicher. Wir durften gerade in einer feierlichen Zeremonie das große Ehrenzeichen in Gold mit dem Stern der Präsidentin des Europäischen Parlaments verleihen. Die Frau Präsidentin zeichnet sich dadurch aus und hat sich dieses Preises besonders verdient gemacht, weil sie enge Verbindungen zu Österreich unterhält, mehrfach dagewesen ist und mit einem großen Verständnis auch die österreichischen Positionen des Parlaments, der Parlamentarier, auch immer wieder sich dessen angenommen hat. Sie verbindet die nationalen Interessen mit den europäischen und weiß auch die Gewichtung sehr klar zu legen. Sie hat, und das ist, glaube ich, ganz entscheidend, sichtbar gemacht, dass kleine und mittlere Mitgliedstaaten ebenso die gleichen Möglichkeiten haben, die Perspektiven. Und dass es wesentlich ist, dass wir auf der europäischen Ebene versuchen, die Gemeinsamkeit zu stärken. Ihr war es immer ein großes Anliegen, die europäische Integration, die europäische Gemeinsamkeit zu stärken. Und dabei, und sie hat das erst jetzt auch bei ihrer Rede angemerkt, dass Demokratien weltweit nicht nur weniger werden, sondern Demokratien unter einem besonderen Druck stehen. Und daher muss es das Anliegen aller Parlamentarier sein, Demokratie zu stärken, die Sichtbarkeit ihrer Arbeit zu verdeutlichen und auch das Bewusstsein zu schärfen, welche Funktion Parlamente haben. Gleichzeitig aber auch klarzumachen, dass die Bürgerbeteiligung, und davon lebt unsere Demokratie und unser Besucherzentrum zeigt das sehr, sehr, sehr deutlich, dass wenn Menschen sich beteiligen und sich einbringen, dass das Movens und auch das Zentrum der Demokratie ist. Und was mich besonders freut, und da bin ich ihr sehr, sehr dankbar, sie hat unsere Überlegungen auch zur Bekämpfung des Antisemitismus und vor allem auch des Gedenkens sehr, sehr respektvoll immer wieder aufgenommen und auch unterstützt. Der Kampf gegen den Antisemitismus und die We Remember-Kampagne, die hat sie mit großer Leidenschaft auch nach außen gebracht und das ist auch heute wieder in ihrer Rede zum Ausdruck gekommen. Sie zeichnen sich aus, gerade was das Europäische Parlament anlangt, und Sie wissen das, da stand immer wieder unter einer besonderen Beobachtung der Öffentlichkeit. Reformen, Transparenz und die Integrität der Parlamentarier und des Parlaments insgesamt waren ihr ein ganz großes Anliegen. Und schlussendlich ist es natürlich ihrer Haltung, was die Gleichstellung aller Geschlechter, insbesondere der Frauen, anlangt, die sie vorangetrieben hat. Ich glaube, ihr Engagement in dieser Frage hat sich in besonderer Art und Weise gezeigt, dass sie Frauen immer wieder unterstützt hat, aber ermuntert hat, Funktionen auch zu übernehmen. Sie ist Brückenbauerin und eine ganz respektierte Präsidentin, was zuletzt das breite Votum des Europäischen Parlaments zum Ausdruck gebracht hat, dass man ihre verbindenden Möglichkeiten, aber auch ihr persönliches Engagement, diese Verbindungen zum Leben zu bringen, besonders stärkt. In dieser Hinsicht hat sich Präsidentin Metsola nicht nur für Österreich, für die einzelnen Mitgliedstaaten, sondern für ein Europa stark gemacht, das auch eine weltpolitische Bedeutung haben kann, dann, wenn es gemeinsam und geeint auftritt. Und ihr Anliegen es ist, Europa auch im internationalen Kontext eine starke, in dem Fall eine starke weibliche Stimme zu geben. Vielen Dank, und es ist mir und es ist uns, und das zeigt auch der Besuch unserer Parlamentarier, eine große Freude, dir dieses hohe Auszeichnung, das ist die höchste Auszeichnung, die wir einer Parlamentspräsidentin vergeben können, ihr auch zuteil werden lassen konnten. Das zeichnet die Europäische Union aus, zeichnet Österreich aus und zeichnet zuletzt auch dich aus, die du als Repräsentantin dafür stehst und einstehst. In diesem Sinne nochmals auch ein herzliches Dankeschön. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much and good afternoon. It is very great to be back in beautiful Vienna in this House of Democracy. I would like to thank President Sobotka and the Austrian Parliament for awarding me with the Großes Goldenes Ehrenzeichen am Bande. It is both a privilege and a responsibility to accept this prestigious award for strengthening European democracy and putting Europe at the service of Austria. I thank President Sobotka for the honor and his friendship and guidance. As President of the European Parliament, my aim has always been to try to listen to everybody's concerns and build bridges. This is what our union is about, balancing various interests, experiences, and giving a voice to every country, regardless of size. In Europe, the size of ideas matters more than geographic realities. Democracy means dialogue. Dialogue between our national parliaments and the European Parliament. Dialogue between us, political representatives, and citizens who elect us. Last June, more than 3.5 million Austrians went to the polls to make their voices heard in the European elections. We have listened, and we will now turn their messages into concrete political action that delivers for all people. Over the coming weeks, the European Parliament will scrutinize the commissioners designate, the candidates for the new European Commission, amongst which there is Magnus Brunner. In public hearings, we will check every candidate's expertise and commitment to the issues that matter most to the Austrian people, the rising cost of living, the state of the economy, democracy, rule of law, migration, and security. This is to showcase how we, together with national parliaments, shoulder our responsibilities and shape a Europe that is ultimately aimed at being safer, more competitive, more innovative, and more resilient. One that leads, protects, and ensures no one is left behind. Thank you very much.
Gibt es Fragen von Ihrer Seite? Bitte, Herr Fritz.
You as a high-ranking member of the European People's Party as well, there's a huge discussion in Austria now on whether the Austrian European People's Party branch, if they should join into a coalition with a movement that's being described as being right-wing, extreme right-wing, or populist. Would you judge this to be a wise move?
Well, I will tell you by saying what I said on the day of the European elections, where against all expectations, it was clear that the centre, what we would call the constructive pro-European majority of the House, would hold. And it held. It held as soon as we came back from elections, even though this is a different parliament to the previous one. It held for the election of the President of the European Parliament, and it held for the election of the President of the European Commission. The next few weeks and months will continue to tell whether that can still hold. What I can tell you about myself is that, of course, I represent and I seek to unite the majorities. I seek to work with those who want to build and not those who want to destroy. And there is no doubt that that majority that I've just mentioned will be needed in the next months, whether it is for the big decisions on, for example, the vote on the College of Commissioners, or for the legislative decisions that we will need to take on climate, on migration, on social issues, on protection of minorities, on tolerance. All of this to say that rather than look at what could happen, we look at what we need to work for. And I include everybody. And I will definitely seek to ensure that in the decisions that we take, the concerns of the Austrian people are voted on by that pro-European constructive majority that I've just mentioned.
Thomas Schmidt, Austria Press Agency. Madam President, if I may turn to a very recent topic, the Polish Prime Minister has recently announced that he wants to suspend the right to asylum, and we have heard, due to security reasons, and we have heard similar announcements from Hungary and Netherlands before, in another context, to exit EU asylum policy. What is your take on that? Do you think it will trigger a domino effect? It will probably be a topic in the upcoming European Council this week. Are you concerned? What is your response? Thanks.
So, as you just said, it will be a debate, and it has been foreseen to be one European Council that also focuses on migration. It was to be expected because this is a few months after the adoption of the Asylum and Migration Pact, which is no small feat. That was, in effect, the antidote, I would say, to what we thought would lead to a bigger rise of the extremes if we had not adopted the Asylum and Migration Pact. Now, what does this pact seek to do? First of all, it seeks to be fair with those who are eligible for protection. It is firm with those who are not. It is harsh with those traffickers and smugglers who seek to profit of the most vulnerable on the planet. Where do we still need to work? We still need to work hard on returns. We still need to work hard on our neighborhood policy. And we still need to, perhaps most importantly, ensure that when we talk about the securitization of the external borders, we keep intact the Schengen area. And I say this because this is the fundamental basis of the decisions or the responses that individual governments could take or are taking in the context of what you mentioned in Poland, discussions that we've seen in the Netherlands, in Germany, but also in Finland last year, because of a fundamental principle. We have created a system for protection of lives, for the betterment of humankind, but that is, as is the case at the moment in Poland, that is exploited by those who don't want it to work, by those who want to abuse the system. What we see, and of course we need to look at the proposal from Poland over the next few days, and I have no doubt that it will be presented, is potentially the possibility for security to look into the crossings across the external border. And that is something that dominated the discussion around the hybrid threats between Poland and Belarus, between the Baltic countries and Belarus a few years ago, between Finland and Russia. It also led to decisions which are similar, for example, during the pandemic, when for health reasons that was considered security. So we will have to see. But I can also say that from a European Parliament point of view, we are always going to look at the protection of the Schengen area, and that would mean securitization of the external borders, without which neither will work.
Wenn keine weiteren Fragen sind, bedanke ich mich recht herzlich und wünsche einen schönen Nachmittag.
Danke.
Danke, danke.